Active learning is an umbrella term that describes any type of learning activity that moves students away from that of passive participation to active engagement with the material under the direct supervision of the instructor. In the traditional 19th and 20th century sage on the stage approach to teaching and learning, students came to class to learn from the expert. And while providing a topic expert is central to our educational mission, there are several challenges to this approach, the most obvious being that even the most well-meaning of students cannot always concentrate for an entire lecture. The focus is often on content coverage rather than deepening of skills, and there can be difficulty with retention and transference of knowledge and skills from one course to another. This type of pedagogy also sets up the dynamic of the expert professor and the novice student while providing students with little or no direction on how to move from one level to the next. It's not that no learning occurs in the traditional classroom. By listening to the expert and making notes, students may remember and understand the material, and in homework exercises, they may practice application. But in active learning, in real time, students can practice the higher order thinking skills of analysis, evaluation, and creation while receiving immediate feedback from the professor. We also know that students learn best and, importantly, can better retain and recall content and skills by actually using the material in a concrete manner. In the late 20th century, the focus began to move away from the sage on the stage approach to the idea of the guide on the side, with the intent that the instructor become a facilitator of learning rather than a dispenser of knowledge. But not all students see the value in this approach. Some feel that they are being asked to teach themselves, with the instructor providing little clarification or guidance. Undoubtedly, it promotes deep learning to have students sit with discomfort as they process, deliberate, debate, and synthesize information to address problems, but the instructor must also continually check in and see that the learning process is moving forward. With that in mind, we particularly like Erica McWilliams' description of meddler in the middle, which more aptly describes the role of a facilitator. Rather than taking a hands-off approach, the meddler provides clear instructions to the students, clarifies expectations, listens to the discussions, questions the students, affirming or redirecting where necessary. And of course, the instructor encourages participation from all students. In this manner, the meddler in the middle guides students towards self-discovery. Active learning takes many forms, from short in-class individual introspections to long, complex collaborative works. Depending on your class size, specific learning outcomes, and available time, you may select short individual activities or utilize ones that are more elaborate. We will explore several types of active learning activities as you progress through the module. Either way, it can be very useful to begin your activity by asking students to reflect individually on the prompt or problem for a minute or so before any group discussion ensues. As you plan, think about your purpose. What are you hoping to achieve? What type of meaningful activity best supports your desired learning outcomes? What, in terms of knowledge and skills, must your students know and be able to do before beginning the activity? Consider whether the activity will be long or short, individual, paired, or grouped. Students can also be suspicious, as mentioned, of active learning, so explain your rationale as well as your role in the learning activity. You may choose to grade the activity or not. Perhaps you prefer to include the activity within participation expectations. But if grading at all, share the grading rubric upfront. mostly help students see how the activity is aligned with the learning outcome. Later on, you may prefer to ask the students to identify which learning outcome is being addressed by the activity. Keep students on task by giving them clear guidelines, expectations, and time limits, and expect them to report out. Allow time for discussions and clarification of points. Finally, ask students to reflect on what they learned. What questions remain for them? How would they go about exploring these questions? How did this task prepare them for future tasks? And then, as always, assess how well the activity met your own expectations, both from your perspective and that of the students, and then adjust accordingly. We will now continue in the module with an exploration of a variety of different types of learning activities.